Today's reading is Roper, an entry from the Monster Encyclopedia book series. Strange monsters that have a human upper body and gelatinous lower body like that of a slime from which long tentacles grow. It has been suspected that they may be a variety of plant-type monsters, but the truth is uncertain. Actually, they were not originally monsters to begin with, and their form is the result of them parasitically infesting human women and fusing with them. Ropers start out appearing as egg-like, shell-covered spherical objects. Adult Roper sees human women with their tentacles and shove their ovipositor tentacle into the human woman's vagina to implant these Roper eggs. A Roper egg implanted inside a woman will soon sprout like a plant, extending a small tentacle. It will spread its roots into the host woman's womb and fuse with her. A Roper parasite will then remake the host body from within. The host lower body will change and to become gelatinous like that of a slime, and numerous tentacles will appear from there. During the Roper's larval stage, the host will still retain her human consciousness as is, but because the fusion between the Roper and its host is incomplete, the tentacles will ignore the host will and wriggle around doing whatever they please. In order for the Roper to grow into adulthood, the semen of a human man is required, so when the tentacles moving on their own senses a man's presence, they intertwine all over the host body. Tentacles wrapped around the breast will rub them quite roughly, others will violate the host mouth, spitting out large volumes of thick, sweet mucus. Gross. And others inserted in the vagina will stir it up while making alluring wet noises. I'm gonna press X to doubt for that. This will all cause her to cry out alluringly in ecstasy and lure the man closer. After enticing a man in this fashion, when he draws near and takes the bait, he'll be seized by tentacles and have the semen milked out of him. After ingesting a man's semen, a Roper will rapidly grow and completely fuse with its respective host. An ex-human host that became an adult Roper in this manner will have become one with it, so she'll be able to control the tentacles with her own will as though they were her own arms and legs. However, after having been violated all over her body by tentacles, she'll become mentally deranged by the pleasure, and her way of thinking will change into that of a monster that desires even stronger pleasure and seeks men. She'll make her tentacles crawl over herself and churn her body even more violently and obscenely than when they were simply moving on their own. In an effort to excite carnal desire in a man, once a man approaches, she'll use her tentacles to draw him near and guide him to her vagina. This time it won't just be the tentacles milking out the semen in its larval stage. They'll use their tentacles and all of their own body for sex and obtain semen. Also, after becoming an adult, the sensation of the host and the tentacles are shared, so the stimulation the tentacles receive is all transmitted to the host as pleasure. Afterward, by obtaining even more semen from the man she captured, she'll produce a new Roper egg and will attack a human woman and implant the egg in her vagina in order to propagate the race. This is the manner in which Ropers multiply. When a Roper larva sprouts, if a woman is wearing clothing, then somehow even the clothing ends up being recognized as a part of her body, and it too will become a part of her melted jello-like body. Ropers have an extremely powerful regenerative ability, and even if the main body and the tentacles are damaged, they will return to normal after a short period of time. Women who become Ropers while wearing clothing are, as described above, can melt the clothing according to the will of the host when having sex with a man. It's possible for them to expose their naked human body or keep it covered as usual. But either way, it will be treated as damaged, and when they're done having sex with a man, the clothing will regenerate exactly back to its original state.